Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome to my channel. I am Jamie Beth. Happy New Year. I hope you guys all enjoyed your holiday. I hope it was spent with family and friends and everything that you love, and I hope you had a great time ringing in the new year. I hope 2022 is going to be way better than the last couple of years. So all we can do is keep our hopes up and hope that everything returns back to somewhat the way it was. I do have a highly requested video to show you guys today. I get asked a lot about my palette collection, and if you can see my palette collection. And I know I did a video probably a couple years ago now, so I have collected quite a few more palettes. I have gotten rid of a few and collected a few more. And I'm going to show you that collection today. All right, I have all of my palettes organized and ready to go. The first set of palettes I'm going to show you are my Naked palettes. And the first one up is the Naked 3 palette. And that is what that one looks like. And then I have the Ultraviolet palettes. The Honey palettes. Ooh, focus, there we go. The Wild West palettes. And the Cherry palettes. I also have the Stoned palette and the Mini or Petite Naked Heat palettes. I'm going to now show you my Huda Beauty palettes. And first up are our Obsessions palettes, and this is the Mauve Obsessions. Then I have the Amethyst Obsessions and the Ruby Obsessions, as well as the Coral Obsessions. I have the Khaki Haze palettes. Whoops, sorry. Khaki Haze palette and the Lilac palette. And I also have the Rose Gold Remastered palettes. And those are my Huda Beauty palettes. Alright, next up are my Natasha de Nona palettes. This is the Mini Star palette. The Mini Nude palettes. Whoops, sorry, Mini Nude palettes. And then I have the Mini Metropolis palettes. And the Mini X-Non palettes. And then I want to show you guys some of these bigger ones that she has. And this is the Anya palettes. Oops, sorry. Really pretty. The Peak palettes. Some of these I received in a boxy charm. And then the Cranberry palettes, which I love those colors. Okay, and then I have the Glam palette. Love this palette. And then I have the Sunrise palettes. And those are my Natasha de Nona palettes. So next I want to show you the e.l.f. palettes. I have the Pumpkin Spice and I have the Cranberry. I believe that's Cranberry. Oh no, I'm sorry, Rose Water. And I have this one, which is Cream and Sugar. I love, this is my favorite one right here, Cream and Sugar. And then I have a couple cute little Wet n Wild ones as well. Next up are the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. Here is the Norvina. I have the Soft Glam. the Modern Renaissance, very well loved, as you can see. The Riviera, and I don't even think they make this one anymore. Beautiful, beautiful. And then the last one is this one. It's the Norvina Pro Palette 1. I can't believe I love this palette as much as I do. Next, I'm going to show you a brand that, again, I'm very, very surprised that I'm starting to like as much as I do. It started with this palette right here, the Dominic Cosmetics Transition Palette. And I know I've talked about this one many times. I love it. And I just got this one and I'm so excited. This is the Berries and Cream palette and it is just amazing. And I got this through my friend Stephanie at the Busy Beauty store. You can give her an amount that you want to spend and she sends you a bunch of beautiful products. I absolutely love her and I love the stuff that she sends me. Moving along, I'm going to show you my BH Cosmetics. First one is going to be the Miss Claus Lit List, and this is what this palette looks like. So gorgeous. And then I have these. You can't get them anymore. These are these Sweet Shop palettes. I use these a lot when creating fun, creative looks. That's the cherry one. I have the bubblegum one, and then the orange sherbet one. Love these palettes. Next is another one that is no longer made. It's their Aurora Lights palette, and this was a crazy shimmer palette. Love it. The shimmer shades are still amazing. And then the Opalescence palette. I think they still make this one, I'm not sure. But this is a awesome, awesome palette. As you can see, very well loved. Next up is one of my biggest collections. It's ColourPop, and everyone knows I love ColourPop, so let's just go right in. I have the Tinkerbell palette, the Smoke Show palette, which is now called Blowing Smoke, Going Coconuts, and then I have In a Trance, Blue Moon, Orange You Glad, and yes, ColourPop has a palette for every shade of the rainbow. This is the It's My Pleasure palette, and then Just My Luck, which is a green one. The Honey palette, Baby Got Peach, and Main Squeeze. Then I have a couple of these adorable quads. This is Aquarius and Pisces. So Aquarius and Pisces, I love these. And then they have a couple of these other little ones. This is, oh, what is this one? Moon Haze. And this one is Too Hot. And then I have the Double Entendre palette. And this is just a glitter shade palette. Bunch of glitters. The All That palette. The At For Sight palette. The She's Got Solstice. The Garden Variety palette. The Bare Necessities palette. Another very well loved one. The So Jaded palette. Love this one. And the Play It Jewel palette, another favorite. And then Fade Into Hue. All right, next up is Morphe, and I have the Morphe 9V palette, the Many palette, the 35C Everyday Chic palettes, the Jaclyn Hill palette, her first one, very well loved, it is disgusting. And then I have the James Charles palettes. Love this palette. Next up are my Juvia's Place palettes, and we have first the Blushed Rose palette, and then the Nudes, the Chocolates, my Mini Masquerade palettes, love this, and then my Nubian 3 Coral palette. There are two more palettes that are no longer made. It's my Stila After Hours, love this palette, and the Happy Hour. All right, and then I have, so these are just, the next group are just palettes where I only have maybe one or two or just one of a brand. This one is Center Stage by Pinky Rose. Beautiful colors. Next is my Adept palette, and this is the Plain Jane. I love this palette. And then this is just a Z palette with a bunch of shimmer shades in. This is indie brands, and I'm gonna go over these a little bit more and swatch them and show you guys them because I'm so into shimmers right now, and these are absolutely stunning. Next up is Violet Voss, the Rainbow palette. That's what the front looks like. And then I have my Ciate London palettes that you guys have seen me show many times. And this was the Tulum palette and the New England palette. We have the Iconic London palette. And here it is, such a beautiful palette. And then of course Tati Beauty, who Tati Beauty is no longer around. I'm so glad to have bought more than one of her palettes. This is my second palette, and this was her Neutrals palette. And then I have the Be Perfect Carnival palette and the Be Perfect Clientele palette featuring Ja, who is a fabulous YouTuber. Check her out. And then I have a Zoeva. This is the Blanc Fusion palette. And then the Zoeva Glam palette. Moving along, we have the Real Her 3 I Feel Beautiful palettes. This is a Makeup Geek palette that I created. These are single shadows, and I just got the Z palette to put them in. This is Hip Dot, and this is their Zion palette. So Hip Dot, Zion palettes. And then the Hip Dot Cenote palette. I don't even know if I said that right. I have the Lorac palette Mega 3. And then I have a couple Tarte palettes. This is the Sugar Rush palette BU. And there is that. Love this palette. And then this cute Tarte palette. Just a bunch of neutral shades. And this was the Amazonian, Busy Gale Goals palette. And then this is my Inglot palette. It's a palette that I made myself. These are incredibly old eyeshadows. This was my first real expensive purchase when I started playing with makeup. The Violet Voss Essentials palette. Moving along, another Violet Voss, Pinky Promise. And then we have Eloise, the Queen palettes. Gorgeous. And then we have Beauty Bakery Breakfast in Bed palette. And then we have the Be Bella Life in Pastel palette. Kind of looks like the Fade into Hue palette by ColourPop. And then I have Odin's Eye Freya palettes. The Laura Geller Casual Collection. So here's what that looks like. Just a bunch of nudie shades. This is a Clinique palette that I got. I was given by a friend of mine. Beautiful. And then we have the Kab Cosmetics. Love this gorgeous palette. We're coming into the end of my collection here. So this is one of the Fenty Beauty. It's the #1 palette. It was just like a nudie palette. And then Cinema Secrets. I use the Cinema Secrets brand brush cleaner a lot, but that is a cute little palette that I got. Alright, next up are these. These are Lawless palettes. This is the baby and the little. And the baby is kind of a pinky one. And the little is kind of a nudie one. Then we have Glam Light. This is our little like pinky purpley palettes. Then Ace Beauty, and this is Scarlet Dusk. And then there's this one called Ilamasca, and it is their Unveiled palette. Here's what that one looks like. This Exquisite palette featuring a couple of different people, and here's what that one looks like. And then we have the Folklore Sweet as Honey palette. The Pure Defense palette. Here's what that looks like in the front. Here's what the palette looks like. And then we have the Be Beauty Barbella palette. And that is my last palette to show you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, as well as the notification bell next to it to be notified of all of my upcoming videos. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!